Hey everyone, last YouTube video for the quarter. Um, so for this week, it was kind of nice for me because I got to go to my mom's home church that I have been to a few times. Um, and so I'll just tell you a little bit about it. It started about like 2 years ago, so that's when my mom started going. Um, and no, probably like over 2 years ago because I was still in college. Anyway, Um, so it was started as like an offshoot of people leaving another church, and there were five leaders. And so in the beginning, they took turns holding services at their homes, and that's when my mom started going because her sister knew the people who were heading it up. So I never went when it was held in homes. The only times I went, including this past Sunday, were they have bought a building in Appleton, Wisconsin, that was originally an old like red little schoolhouse, and like back um, in the early 20th century, and then it was converted into a bar in like the 70s or 80s, and so it stayed that way, and then closed, and then they bought it, I think last year sometime. So that's where they meet now. Um, the church itself is, um, there's probably only about, I would say, 30 people who go there on a regular basis. So it's definitely grown in the past year since they've had their own building. Um, and they have plans to expand. So I don't really know if it still counts in the emerging church. I don't really know like when that changes, because they're trying to expand. They're planning on making the bar area into a coffee shop, and yeah. So I would say it's really only white people and young people. There's no one there. I mean, my mom is probably the oldest, and she's in her 50s. But it's a lot of young people, a lot of millennials, which is what they're really, the past month has been their focus. On one of their leaders, they have like a five um, leader pastoral team. Only one of them is actually ordained as a minister, but they don't have a head pastor or anything. So it follows that emerging church plan, I guess, in that way. They just take turns with leading every week, and it's two couples and then another guy. Um, and then their kids program is also led by volunteers every week, so that changes. But like I said, so their theme, and they also have prayer. So they have prayer on Wednesday nights, and then they also have prayer an hour before service on Sunday mornings at 9:30. Um, they really are focused on prayer and the power of prayer, which I think is really cool. Um, and then one of the leaders, she's actually a prophetess, so she's the one who's really headed up this, praying for millennials and praying for that specific age group, especially. So that's cool because obviously I fall into that category. Um, yeah. Other than that, um, like I said, it still felt normal to me. I mean, they still have a worship service. It's just led by a guy, his acoustic guitar, and a couple singers, and then a keyboardist. And then they just have a regular sermon. So it didn't feel different to me. It's just very small. But I've been to small, group meetings like that before, so I didn't feel uncomfortable. And then I was with family, and I know most of the people who go there because I know the pastoral team pretty well from the church that my family used to go to in high school. Um, So it felt familiar. It didn't feel odd for me. Nothing really stuck out. Um, yeah, so it was a good time. I really enjoyed going there. And it's probably, I mean, it's the church that I've been going to, every other week since I've been back, and the church that I'll probably end up going to while I'm living at home with my mom.